Good evening. Welcome to the family edition. Our very sincere apologies for the lateness, but we hope we can cover up as we continue. Welcome. My name is Likuyani Eli, and let's get this started. We are talking about unbroken bonds, bonds that are supposed to be uniting us as a family. But what happens when Christmas comes and then everybody forgets that we actually have something in common? With me is Coach Collins Bolo, and I hope you can hear me tonight. Good evening, Coach. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine and well, Eli, and I'm excited today to be in this episode.
Yeah, this is actually the very last episode of this season, so I hope it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's my hope too from this side.
Definitely, Coach. And, the topic is unbroken bonds, and we are asking our audience who are watching tonight, how significant is presence over presence in building unbroken family bonds? I know feast and fish sounds familiar to Coach Collins, but Coach, let's break it down. Significance of presence and presence, because that's what everybody's looking out for when Christmas arrives.
Yeah, during Christmas, actually in African context, Christmas was a symbol of presence within family members. People could commute from different locations. Either they meet in their native land or rural home, or some would meet in the city together. Yeah. Sometimes Christmas in our context was people within the neighborhood meeting together and celebrating. So bonding and presence was very key during this particular time. Again, there are children who have been brought up in rural area, and during Christmas was the time they could see their father coming from the city to come and meet with them. So in our context, presence was very key as far as Christmas is concerned. And while people are together and giving each other presents, then they celebrate the presence of one another. From the Western context, when you think about Christmas, you think about present. That's where the difference is at this particular point, whereby sometimes they can be present and presence, and sometimes presence can be sent without necessarily presence. So context matter depending where you are coming from.
Well, Coach, when you say it's westernized kind of a tradition, I beg to differ, because our today's world, we have given priority to what we get, the physical attachments of things. But just to understand where we are coming from tonight, let's take a look to this short, commercial that is showcasing an upcoming film in our industry.
Dad, how come you are not in this photo?
Every time, Mommy. Every time you have to remind me. I said I was at work.
He is late. Again. You are tired.
I need to finish this, Judy.
And what happens if you don't?
I need to be with Naima in the next 1 hour.
Look at the brighter side. A huge bonus to follow.
Promise you'll make it on time tomorrow.
I promise.
If there's anybody who can get this job done, it's you.
Things are not as black and white as you see them. It's hard for you to understand.
Chelewa tu utapata mwana si wako.
That film coming out on the 11th of December, in this coming month, and talks of very, very pertinent issues. Presence over presence. Coach Collins, you're lost in between, getting the ideal job, providing for our families, and we all relate when it comes to Christmas. As you said, we could travel distance to just go and be with family. Why is it that is not the trend today? And how can we do to improve these kind of issues?
One of the most challenging aspects in our world of today is the fact that most of the family members are scattered, some in diaspora, some in different cities, and expenses for commuting from where they are to their native land or some to the city becomes a big challenge for a number of group of people. Not only that, expenses. Today, most of the parents know after December Christmas celebration, school fee is awaiting for them. No wonder in a society they call it nja nuari, because people get into a lot of trouble because they spent everything during the December festive season, and when it comes to paying of the school fee, they have totally nothing at the same time. Not only that, now also we have other dynamics. Now there's the issue of distance, there's the issue of expenses, and also the upcoming events immediately after Christmas. Due to this kind of dynamics, then you realize that bonding is becoming a major challenge among people in our society today. So now people have to change the context of how they can bond. And in changing context of bonding, you realize that some bond as neighborhood, some bond as people of the same church, some bond as a group of colleagues. Some people save for Christmas, and during this particular time they travel together as either workmate, friends, and they create bonding among themselves because they feel they are more of a family because of how they have spent so many hours in the course of the year together. Then it was so still some bond, but the context is different. The challenge is on the side of the family. What is our role to make sure that bonding as a family is key, and during this particular time we take advantage of it?
Well, I think the biggest role, coach, and as we've seen, is that we tend to compensate for those moments by giving gifts. Are this a way to express that we care about you, but there's this job that I need to get done?
Now, the role of the people giving each other gifts and the purpose why they intend to give each other gifts and how they communicate while giving gifts matters a lot. For example, one person might have a gift and say, family with me, I've come up with my gift. For the whole of this year, we have not been together, but I've thought of something which I can give as a gift, as a symbol of my concern and love for you. The recipient, how he'll feel on receiving the gift is different from someone will just say, today is Christmas, ni wakati wa kukula nyama choma. Then I've given my gift of mbuzi tukule. Then after that, boom, the guy disappears. Or after eating at home, when the dark is coming in, the guy disappears to go and drink. He'll be found tomorrow morning being collected back home because he's actually extremely overdrunk. Now, how gifts are not bad. People need to gift each other because the spirit of Christmas is that just as Jesus, when he was on a manger, some nice guys came and gave gifts during that particular time. So do people give gifts to each other. Though if you follow the history and the culture of people who converted the 25th of December to be Christmas, then the Boxing Day, which comes the following from the Roman Greek calendar point of view, you realize that was a culture which was there beforehand. And for the culture to be terminated, then great theologians during that particular time had to switch the name of the events for those dates so that people now can give to one another. However, those information most of the people know. If we can give to each other, let us give to one another. However, in the process, let us have time to talk and express greatness on one another while we are still alive, because sometimes we are known to be speaking great things about others when they are dead. But some of the greatest gifts we can give on each other,
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
we exchange physical gifts, let us speak and usher to each other words which will actually bring the impression of, actually, I care about you, I'm concerned about you, we are a family, instead of the dynamics of the need which we have in our life today.
Great, coach. And my next question will be then, how do we keep this ideology of having a family bond throughout the year, and not only on those that we think or perceive to be special occasions?
Today, technology has helped us very much. Sometimes back in our home, we started Zoom family meeting, whereby my mom can be in up country, some of my brothers in the Middle East, some in Nairobi, Mombasa. Then we come back with a Zoom together with my mom, because my dad passed on some few years ago. So what happens? Because of the use of technology, it helps us to bond together at this particular point in time. People talk, mom will be very happy seeing his sons and daughters, grandchildren around. The grandchildren are happy seeing their nyanya. We are happy seeing each other talking and connecting. If such kind of episodes take place quarterly, monthly, it helps in bonding.
Yeah.
So when people come together physically, it's just reinforcing the importance of what has been happening in the course of the year. Other aspect can include bonding. As a family, is there something which we can do together as a family for our home and for our family to demonstrate our concern for each other, even as a family, as we grow and we expand? But technology today can help us, because with technology, like today, you are far away from Kenya. I'm right here in Kenya. There are people who are watching us from different parts of the world, but technology is making us to connect. So using the power of technology today can help us to reinforce bonding, love, and care for each other, even before we meet on these specific events, which sometimes it can be a challenge, especially like if some of your children are in diaspora, will you force all of them to come back to Kenya?
Well, if we can travel for funeral, why not?
Yeah, it's because of our belief system with the dead. That's why, like in some of our community, your brother might be sick of malaria and he just needs 500 Kenyan shilling to be well, and everybody just says sina pesa, sina pesa. When he dies, the same people will raise 600,000 to bury the person.
Yeah.
With the assumption where he is happy because he was buried with greatness and the cows died.
Wow. Coach Collins, leo umeamua utatuambia ukweli, and thank you so much everybody that is watching the show tonight. This is the family edition, our very, very last episode of this season. As we close down, what do you want to hear from the discussion? Send in your comments so that as we sample them during the break, we'll be able to come back and deliver exactly that. For the moment, we are asking you, how significant is presence over presence in building unbroken family bonds? Question is, how significant is presence over presence? Kizungu leo tulijichagulia kazi ngumu in building unbroken family bonds. So as you engage with us, remember to use the hashtag #ArtsinHeart and follow us in the comment section. Meanwhile, Coach Collins Bolo, you have established that technology has made it very easy for us to connect, but it has also made it very, very easy to detach from reality of life, such as instead of spending time on that family dinner table, we are busy talking to those strangers behind the screens.
Yes. In a field of psychology counselors, one of the new emerging addictions are addiction through technology. The late Steve Jobs, who came up with the technology, an iPhone, once said when his own children wanted to have a piece of their own phone and use, he told them, I'm sorry, my kids, I cannot do a mistake to hand you over this facility. I'm the guy who invented it, but I know the power and the danger which can come to children if they are left with it. His own children, yet him being a multimillionaire, he didn't give his own children those iPhone because he knew how it can distract their focus and their attention. But the sons of the middle class and the poor, they prefer to have this gadget for them. Now, some of the new emerging challenges which we have today is the fact that most of the people are growing with this hypothesis that the people in the social media are the true real friends in comparison to the people around. I was doing counseling therapy yesterday to a young girl right in Nairobi, and the grandmom died, and she was really in grief because when the grandmom was around, the grandmom used to be so harsh. She used to feel like my grandmom used to be so harsh to me. When I asked her, why do you think she was so harsh to you? She said, because I was on my phone. Then I asked her, why? Now, was it because of the phone, or what do you think might be the reason why she was sounding harsh to you? And she said she wanted to have time with me and connection with me, and she was saying others are better than me because of the phone. Now, the catch is this. Now that she is dead, I really feel like you like to connect with her, and she is not there. What do you think would happen if she was alive today? And she was saying, I would put my phone aside and have time and bond together with her. So our phones and technology are good, but if not handled very well, it can be one of the most challenging aspects. Actually, part of the new emerging addictions are addictions in connection to internet, social media, and such. So there are many people who are addicted. And if you want to know if you're addicted to it, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you rush to pick and put your face on? How many
Please, coach.
hours?
Please, coach. Don't go that direction. Don't go that direction.
Yes. How many hours do you spend on your phone in comparison to other related activities to build you and to develop you? There's a forum which a great speaker who is also a multimillionaire is saying some of the things which rich people teach their children, which poor people do not know. And one of the things which rich people teach their children, which poor people do not know, is this. When you wake up in the morning, don't rush on your internet to check messages or texting and such, because sometimes what you might see on the social media, there's so much negative information which are going to give negative energy on you. And if you wake up in the morning filled with negative energy, it will spread in the course of the day. Get something else into your eyes and your mind and meditate so that you can build up yourself. Take at least 30 minutes to listen to inspirational speakers, learn from them, build up yourself. Then later, go to the social media. So,
but they can come watch us. They can come to watch us in the morning if they
yes,
have nothing better
they
to do.
yes, they can get to some of the episodes you have been doing. And
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so much better than getting to Twitter, getting to Facebook, WhatsApp, and you get a lot of negative energy.
And insulting one another.
And insulting one another. Children of the rich are told not to. It's only the poor who believe when they do it, they are great, and they waste a lot of their hours. That's the unfortunate part.
Let's take a quick one, coach. Let's take a quick one.
Hello, my name is Tonya Ishimwe Hansia, and you are watching TheArtsinHeart. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hey. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
Thank you for watching.
Finally, we have another offer because Christmas came earlier than expected at Joymark Wallpapers and Deco. So with only 950 Kenya shillings, you get yourself a roll of wallpaper. Different designs, different colors, different textures. And guess what? The best quality in town. You don't want to miss on that. Get your roll today and get your space looking and feeling even more beautiful. Get in touch with us on 0712 027 807 or follow our pages at Joymark Wallpapers and Deco.
Definitely, you want to follow Joy Mark Wallpapers and get a beautiful home for yourself for this Christmas, because Christmas came early at Joy Mark's Wallpapers. Definitely, we are here with Coach Collins Bolo, and we are talking and discussing about family bonds. I can see Edwin Kanda saying, watching us live and following live from Limuru, Kenya. Oh, that is Ruiru. Sorry, my pardon. Pardon me, rather. That is Ruiru, Kenya. And welcome again to the show. Coach Collins, we've said that bonding is important in our families because we want to create moments that we will hold on forever when we have left this earth. Na tumepewa mwili mpya binguni. I don't know how I'll be looking. Probably I'll be masculine when I go to heaven. But for the moment, I'm here on earth. I'm trying to understand, Coach, what are these suggestions that you will have for a family that they can do some activities together to create that bonding in this festive season that is about to kick off?
History shows us eating together is one of the activity which creates bonding among people. We see it in our homes, we see it in corporate institutions, we see it in our institutions of learning. If, as a family, we can invest so that we put our money, because sometimes you realize in our world of today, we help so many people who are outside our homes and family, and we forget to invest for ourselves, our family members. One of the tips which we can do, as it was done in the past and it worked from the times of our grandparents, let's come together, eat together, and celebrate together. That's very key. While celebrating together in our conversation, it becomes important for people to share their challenges in the course of the year and some of their success story. It helps people within the family, some not feel like it seems I'm the only one who is passing through the challenges, or I'm the only one who is succeeding. Because there's some people, if they succeed, they can express it and they can show it positively. Some, they'll behave as if nothing has happened, and you cannot know the progress which they have because of different dynamics in life. So Christmas time, as we eat together, we celebrate together, let us share our success story, let us share also our challenges at the same time. Now, as people share about their challenges, success story, then people need to come up with some of the action plans towards creating more bonding. For example, one might talk about, by the way, I'd invested some money to start a small business or a middle business or a huge business, but due to the challenges with COVID, my business went down, and now I'm almost getting to receivership. And there might be some of the family members who can help their own not to get to receivership. Because in business, you'll say, if you need money to make your business succeed, the first immediate people to talk to are your family members. So if you are lucky and people are bonding, some can come in to support, because we have developed a culture, especially people in the city, whereby we live, talk, and dress as if everything is okay, but things are not okay sometimes. Good action plans for supporting each other, standing for one another, and building each other, it's very key. Now, as the elders in the families are doing the same, it becomes important also for the parents to create an activity whereby their children can bond with one another. Because that's another big challenge you have today, whereby you find like their cousins who don't bond with each other, they're so isolated from one another, either because they were told Uncle so and so and Auntie so and so is so bad, is a witch, or is not so good. Be very careful about them. And how children are growing up being suspicious about one another.
Yeah.
Now, if this is a home which they are privileged to have more male, and they have already have some level of bonding, they need to take charge so that now their children can bond during this festive season, because a time will come when the parents are alive. These are the people who will stand and continue with the same philosophy of bonding together. Or if one will be weak and sick and cannot support himself, these things happen. We have had cases today whereby cousins intend to marry, and some even pregnant each other without knowing their cousins, because the parents felt because they're in the city they are too good to make their children get to know each other, unfortunately. So parents must have an intentional activity whereby their children bond together for the sake of now and future relationship, when they want to be alive, when they'll be too weak to make some decision and to make command among their children. Very, very, very
that's very true, Coach, and I think it's something worth noting that in the recent past we've seen incidences rather of family members getting intimate only to notice at the time they are going on the altar that this guy is actually family. So there is need for us to actually create opportunities that we can be present in one another's life physically, if not just on long distance that we've done over the recent past. So, Coach, who should come first this Christmas season? Is it your father or is it your in-laws? Because I'm told when you guys are going to the village, the first stop is in Ugunja. Instead of going to visit your in-laws, you prefer twende Ugunja kwanza. I'm just giving a scenario.
Example, yes.
Yeah.
I think the first and immediate role, if it's from my side, my immediate parents, and then I need to come up with a plan on how else also they can celebrate the fact that I have their daughter. But this should be plans which are made before Christmas.
Yeah.
Why? Sometimes let's assume your wife or your wife is of a different tribe. So that one means the geographical difference between where you are coming from and your in-laws is so much separated.
Yep.
So there's no way you go and visit your parents and then visit the in-laws. But still there's something as you go to visit your parents, you can do while visiting them, and you can do something for your in-laws. I have had cases of men getting depressed because every Christmas their wives have to go to their parents. That one means,
and you get depressed for that? I thought that's supposed to be holiday. That's the time you're supposed to have holiday and celebrate. She's gone.
No, this is the thing. This man is meeting his brothers and everybody's coming, and his wife is missing in action. Every year the wife is not, because the wife wants to continue with the same bonding on the other side from when they were young. But the transition that now she has been married to somebody else and needs now to continue the same culture in the new home does not exist. Yep. And I've had men during Christmas, they are very stressed because their wife is not there. Now, some it becomes even worse. The wife is not there. They are alone in the city. Nobody to cook for them. They can just get the smell of pilau from the neighbors. And they cannot go and cook for themselves. Then by January, problems come in. While I was away, where did you go for Christmas? Why did you go and visit your ex? And those kind of things. Because the man was alone and lonely, and he decided to come up with a way to bond.
With a way to occupy them during this lonely period. Ninakupata coach, ninakuona sana. Naona mbali unaenda.
Yes, everybody's in a celebration mood. Everybody 2 by 2. You have decided to travel very far. And
even Noah's Ark was 2 by 2.
Imagine. Then someone travels all that distance without your consent, without agreeing. What happens next? The boy in the man will remember during childhood.
By the way, there was this Caro that was here in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And then trouble comes in. Coach, I am very interested in that line of thought that you've just brought out of, the lady deciding to go to their parents' home and decide I'm on holiday and tukutane January.
Yes.
It gives me a lot of problems because I've seen this kind of things happening with people that I know, and you're like, where is your wife? She's gone to her parents. And you probably, if you come from, let's say, neighboring villages, you have to constantly bring her every day to their home.
Yes.
If you're lucky enough to be driving, and then pick up in the evening. But in our traditions as African men, visiting in-laws was almost a taboo. What do you tell us as a coach? What do you say of that?
Actually, the respect between you as a man and your in-law in our African traditional culture was very high. The respect, very high. It was to be put. In fact, in some community, you could not even sit in the same room, the same roof with your in-law because of the respect which was there. Now, due to that, you realize that unless it's an event for all to be together, the woman was expected to celebrate with this man and his people when she gets married. But now the transition, that's why I usually encourage men, if you want to get to marriage, go the right way. Either go religious wedding, either go civil or traditional, so that there can be a clear transition. People will know now you belong to that home. It helps during a time like now, because when your wife disappears to go to our people every Christmas day, all the former excesses who come in the city, people reverse back to their days of primary school and high school.
Allah, they start reminiscing. Oh, you
Yes.
used to look good when you were young. Things that you've not had over 1 year. Then they reactivate the missiles.
And it becomes even worse if your ex is now separated, divorced, or in crisis.
Okay. So one is available, the other one is unavailable, but available.
Yes. Because of presence, the aspect of presence is very, very key. On the other side with men, then they need to develop a culture. When they talk about presence, they need to be actually physically and emotionally available for their women and their children during Christmas, because some save money, but they prefer to go and spend that with friends while their wives remain in the kitchen cooking, and when they come back in the evening, probably they are too drunk or they are so much satisfied that they cannot enjoy the food for their wife. So men ought to take charge and responsibility. First, to be an example, I like some men, even if they don't go to church, Christmas they have to go to church. They have to go to church on Christmas. At least
I know my dad will bring us to church and wait for us to come. Mwambie na wakujia saa sita.
Yeah, that's what. Then they go, they drink, and they have time for themselves, because it's more the celebration, more festive, eating and drinking time. Men ought to be available for their wives and their children, so that in the mind of their children, memorable episodes are going to be registered in their subconscious mind. When their time will come, for as they grow up, they remember, I remember my dad used to come home. He used to buy for us ABCD. We used to have time, we eat, we celebrate with each other. Even if as a man you are always you are prone to violence, be a saint for that day at least, so that children can remember during Christmas our dad was the most holy person.
I think the dad used to sing Silent Night.
Yes.
Holy Night.
Yeah, those are songs which are there. So, then the children back in the church, they talk about Horiangombe and everything.
Oh,
So
I will tell you about that
involved.
story of Horiangombe.
Yeah. So the kids were involved in the church with different activities, doing drama, singing. You realize that the family, the immediate family the bonding becomes so strong. The church as a family, the bonding becomes so strong. The neighborhood bonding becomes so strong during this particular point in time.
Yeah.
Because it's a season for it.
Awesome. There is, I believe this YouTube channel account that says My Health, My World. I think couples should plan and agree together on way forward, especially during festive seasons. Coach, is it a couple thing, or let the one with the money decide?
This statement sounds like coming from my wife, if I'm not wrong.
Is she getting personal? Have you not been consulting?
Yeah, no, it is true. With us, we plan as couples. We plan as couples. What's the way forward? Christmas comes like now. We have five. We have five in our home. 1 sister, 4 boys, and already we have planned by December where we are going to be, how we are going to celebrate, whom we are going to bring on board during this particular day. Already, our wives started planning it. Then when they talk as wives, they come and share to us as men. Then we rubber stamp the idea.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it makes our whole family, Bolo's family at large, to be well prepared for the festive season. We are going to be together. We are going to bond together. We are going to celebrate together. If Jesus won't have come, or COVID has brought issues like what's coming up from South Africa right now, we have a plan. And this plan, if it is done from our nuclear home, as couples, we sit, we plan for it. People discuss, then it becomes a memorable day, so that our children will remember when we were young, our uncles, our fathers used to meet together, celebrate together, we used to eat, we used to drink and enjoy ourselves. Very key. Couples need to co-share the planning.
Let's talk about the financial planning, Coach, after this, and it's needed for us to take a quick break. But when we come back, we want to talk about the financial planning towards this festive season, because it's not just about the presents. Presents equally matter. So how do we shop for our presents? Find out in our next segment.
Tamaa yangu milele, Yesu, nikuabudu Bwana, nikuabudu. Ndiyo tamaa yangu milele, Yesu, nikuabudu Bwana, nikuabudu. Ndiyo tamaa yangu milele, Yesu, nikuabudu. Haba chini ya mbawa zako, sala ni moja, kwamba kwa macho haya yangu nione utukufu wako. Tenda miujiza Baba, tenda maajabu, kwani fadhili zako ni bora kuliko uhai. Haba chini ya mbawa zako, sala ni moja, kwamba kwa macho haya yangu nione utukufu wako. Tenda miujiza Baba, tenda maajabu, kwani fadhili zako ni bora kuliko uhai. Nikuabudu Bwana, nikuabudu. Ndiyo tamaa yangu milele, Yesu, nikuabudu Bwana, nikuabudu. Ndiyo tamaa yangu milele, Yesu, nikuabudu Bwana, nikuabudu.
And welcome back to the family edition. Of course, it is always a pleasure bringing you this program. This being our very, very last episode, we want to talk to you so that when you go for your festive seasons, you have an idea of what you should be doing to make it a memorable one to you and your family. With me is Coach Collins Bolo. Wacha nimlete hapa tuambie tips za mwisho mwisho tukikafunga. Coach Collins, haya, nimemfanyia ile kitu coach.
Yes.
Welcome back. That was a needed break. Tukunywe maji kidogo, tujienjoy kidogo, tusikize mziki. And we are back just trying to figure out. We've said you as a couple need to plan for the Christmas seasons and other seasons actually. But then, gifting. Who should gift who during this Christmas or festive season? Kuna mazoea hapa, there's one gender. I'm not going to mention. Today I'm being very flat with them. This gender are always expecting.
Now, when it comes to the issue of Christmas and gifting, it should be the role of each other gifting one another. Mm-hmm. People should not take it like on other events whereby, like someone would say last time during the Men's Day, Global Men's Day, and the ladies were asking for their gifts for that. Like, are you the one to gift me, or is it me to gift you at the same time? Yeah. Now, because the philosophy behind Christmas and gift is because God gave us the best, His Son, then we should replicate the same to one another by gifting each other. Now, in gifting each other, as I was saying, as you gift one another, it's better as you give the gift, express your purpose and the reason for giving your gift, either to your wife, to your husband, or your children. Sometimes it can be gifting which is based on the system. Like where I grew up from a background of a military background, what used to happen, we used to get gifts all the way from the Queen.
Yeah.
So our parents used to give list of names of the toys which we loved as kids. So during Christmas time, all of us got a gift with the label of our name all the way from the UK. Then give it to us in Kenya while we were kids growing up. So for us, it was an event.
Coach, what you're saying is you have actually tasted the goodness of the United Kingdom monarchy.
While in Kenya, we tasted it while growing up as kids because all our gifts were labeled and came all the way from the Queen for us as military kids during those particular day. And Christmas was nice because we were surprised. How did these guys know what we loved? As we grew up, we realized that it's our fathers who gave details of the kind of toys which we loved, and they were packaged with our name from the Queen.
Great. Let me cut you there, Coach. Then does it mean once we are giving gifts during this season, do they have to be well thought out? Or we just amka one day decide, Wakenya wanaita Carrefour, niingie Carrefour, ama Carrefour, if you want to be a little bit French, and then you decide to buy what you want to buy and then take it home. How do you purpose to gift?
The best way is get to understand your wife, your husband, and your children, their interests, and something you can buy within their interest. That one will have more impact. Now, for men, we need to understand one thing. Women don't think like us because the biggest challenge is what men think satisfies them as men is what they give to their wives, which sometimes it will not be the same. You will be surprised, like, what's wrong with her? Whenever I give to her, she's not appreciative. It's because we're using masculine way of thinking of gift, then disseminating it out to her. It's important as you continue growing to understand what are some of the things which if I will give at this time, it will be memorable. What are some of the things at the age of my kids where they are, if I'll give based on their age, then it will be something memorable for them. Very important. And once you give them the gift, for example, if they're boys or girls, what are the stage whereby breaking things is part of the fun of growing. Get something to be broken very fast. But if you have to get something broken, it's broken, don't start complaining the gift has been broken. They have to break it because they're at the stage whereby they have to break. And that's the fun of that stage.
Break it
That's why
to make it.
yes, that's why understanding their stage and their interest is very key before making the decision.
We have Edgar who says, great conversation. Thank you so much, Edgar, for coming on tonight. The great conversation happening here with Coach Collins Bolo. And gifting should be a two-way thing. So those orphans that decide that December 25th, they have become orphan, watoto wa yohehahe ama hohehahe, they cannot offer anything. Coach, talk to these people. Talk to them.
Now, because as our lady Sarah says, gifting
Yes.
should be two-way. It's very important, so that we don't have one party or one gender only to be to receive. Well, as you're saying, they assume the role of their orphan and they're the ones to get the gift, yet they do nothing about it. Think of something. And if it happens that probably physical gift is a challenge for you, come up with something which you can do which will still be memorable after all is said and done. That's clear. Very, very good. For example, like you can suggest a location which might not cost you so much, where you can go and discuss about the greatness on each party, which most of the time people, they're just like fighting, word, and sometimes probably what your partner might hear from you will be something memorable, even in your inability probably to buy something for each other, because already you have spent so much on other things. However,
Coach, Coach, let's not talk hypothesis here. Let's now
Yes.
bring it home, okay?
Yes.
I am here. My name is Eli. And for now, I know this is not supposed to be the kind of film we are acting. But Coach, you are the man in the relationship, I'm the lady in the relationship. So what kind of questions should we be discussing that will make it very memorable? Is it that, my dear, what do you love most about me? Because you always complaining about everything wrong I do. Is this the question?
No, if you start that way, you'll make the day to be memorable, but from a negative point of view.
Okay, tell me, how
One
then
of the best thing you
should
can
we
do,
take it?
One of the best thing you can do, sit down and think of at least 3 to 5 things which you love and you like about your partner. Discuss and celebrate your partner. Don't talk about the other issues of crisis of the past. And you realize that if you sit down to think, the list of the good things from your partner is more than the bad things you complain about. I do it most of the time when I have counselors coming in and they're couples. Then I tell them, okay, now this session, I'd like you to sit aside, write a list of all the things you don't like about your husband or your wife and the things you like. The things they like become more than the things they don't like. But most of the time under crisis, people focus on the little things they don't like and they make it to become like a mountain. Then the whole good things subside by the end of the day. Now, instead of discussing the crisis, celebrate one another. Very key and you might be surprised. Like I had 2 couples, I did the same thing for them. And what amazed them was this. One was thinking of pulling out of that relationship. But the moment they heard from each other about the good things which they see from one another, they were shocked like, Allah, kumbe, I never knew that's how you think about me. It restored their relationship. The impact was massive. Now, because people are in the festive season of celebration, if the celebration gets into that context, it becomes one of the best gifts you can give for one another.
Awesome. Highlight the positives about them. And for a moment, forget their past.
Yes.
Deal with the presence. That's a good one. We have Mercy there, and I believe this is the first time I'm seeing you in the comment section. Mercy Ndamuki, thank you so much. Welcome to Art in Heart family, and this is, of course, the family edition that comes to you every single Saturday, right here from 9:30 p.m. East African time. And of course, we will be taking some well-deserved break, but come the month of February, we'll be back with much, much more. Coach, as we come to conclusion tonight, we have had a journey and different conversations that we've carried through this, including things we ought to discuss before we get married, things that we have to discuss when life is not giving us the very expectations we had, that is broken marriages and all that. So moving into season 3, what should our viewers expect?
As we move to season 3, viewers like you to expect several good things, including, does marriage matter? What are some of the findings we have today which are very key for you to understand from group of psychologists, sociologists, and religious group globally as far as this subject is concerned? Also, be learning about intentional parenting.
Okay.
What is your role as far as issues of parenting is concerned? Then other things you're going to learn for those who are not married. What are some of the key principles and rule of relationship which you need to understand so that you don't start relating with your left leg or the wrong way? Very important. How can you build effective value systems?
Yeah.
During your time before marrying and during your time for marriage. Also, you're going to address how can old age be fun without sickness and diseases while we build our relationship and emotional bonding, among many more things. So,
Coach, that menu is hot.
Really hot.
And you know what? It comes just after our first show, which will be actually the Valentine edition. What a timely way to start off. So guys, make sure to hit the subscription button and come, let us adore him as we actually subscribe and get to know and learn from one another, because we still maintain our principles of why we do these shows, which is educate, engage, inform, and of course, entertain you. Coach Collins might be serious on face value, but it can be fun too when you get to listen to him. So yes, and in case you missed out on last night's show, there was quite some fun there. Take a listen in. The Christmas na Jamhuri Day, hakuna tofauti. Yani nowadays hakuna kukaranga nywele na kipande cha chungu alafu unapaka kimbo. Did you ever experience this, Nyanduko, or this is foreign language to you?
For some reason today you guys are out here to make me look bad, but it's all right. No. It's all right.
Yeah. We're just welcoming you into our world. We want to be sure on the same page.
I have heard about it. I have not done it, but I've heard it has happened. Kwetu, we were privileged to have an elder sister who is a salonist. She knows how to plait. So Christmas period was time ya kusukwa nywele mpya, and it was the only time ungesukwa braids. The rest of the year ni wewe na lines za nyuma. Christmas was the only time unasukwa braid na unaekewa beads colored. Okay? So that was Christmas for me. It was not
Nyanduko alikuwa anasukwa nywele. My sister alikuwa ananyolewa nywele. Mimi na yeye hakukuanga tofauti. Baada akitoa pesa ya kinyozi, ananipatia kobole, anapatia sister yangu kobole. Ananiambia nipeleke dadangu kwa kinyozi. Na mimi na sister yangu tulikuwa kondoo na mbwa. We cannot walk together. I tell her, my friend, nikupate huko umalize shughuli yako urudi home, mimi ninaenda. Sasa hiyo mambo ya Calkit, my mom sasa was the mother of those. I had a very pretty woman for a mother. Oh, alikuwa anakaa pale, anaeka hiyo nyungu yake kwa moto. Sasa hiyo unajua Christmas anachoma mahindi. Sasa mahindi Christmas ilikuwa kama snack. Ile yani ya kupitia tu kingozi ya vitu vinono. Sasa anachoma kama mahindi yake hapo na ameweka ile nyungu huko ndani, inachomwa na moto. Alafu yeye sasa alikuwa ame-upgrade. I think Kimbo alikuwa anaona Kimbo kidogo ni ya wale watu wa kule chini. Sasa alikuwa ananunua mafuta ya mnazi. Ile ya kitambo yenye akipaka huko na umesimama huko unasikia Mombasa ikinuka yote. Huko na anapaka, alafu anachukua hiyo nyungu na anaipitisha hivi. Now that I grew up, I think about it, because unajua hiyo nyungu ilikuwa ukipitisha hivi inakata nywele kama yote. Ilikuwa inaikata ikiichoma. But yes, for the day it was worth losing that amount of hair and then growing it again for another day. Then my mom would walk around looking so pretty. And then she would watch me from church nikinareti hizo Bible verses. Tukifika nyumbani ukose. Mama Juzo wa Mashariki, ukifika nyumbani anakuambia kazi unajua tu ni kusema vifungu za kukariri huko kanisani, lakini vitu hapa nyumbani unafanya tabia ni muozo. Oh my mother. Okay. Yes.
Okay. In case you miss out on that show, you know what you missed out, Coach.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite Christmas story when you were young that you like to tell us in 1 minute?
Let me think.
Christmas suit, Sunday best, anything.
Now, I remember an incident. Now, it was, where we grew during Christmas, the Roman Catholics had their own place for worship. The Protestants, that's where the place of worship too. Then we used to give those kariri, those mystery, ya Bible. So I remember on this particular day I had my nice Christmas attire. Then it was Mathayo 25 na mstari wa 15. My friend I started. While starting to kariri the scriptures, then another nice mama smiled on me and everything disappeared. Everything disappeared.
I hope that nice mama is with you this evening. Otherwise, you have trouble after this show. Don't blame it on me.
The beautiful thing is she was one of the good mamas in the church and she was very respected mama. So when she gave that good smile to me as a child, that smile there, hey, mtoto anakariri vizuri. Everything disappeared. I confused Matthew, Luke, and other books of the Bible.
But I hope you didn't continue looking in the book of Luke. Anyway, yes. Coach, it is a pleasure having you tonight. And for everybody that came on tonight, we appreciate you. We can't wait to have you in season 3. And as we go to season 3, I want you to remember one thing, that next year is the electioneering period, dear, and things will be happening differently. Take this opportunity to celebrate your family, to celebrate your friends, and to celebrate your country. At the end of the day, we still want to enjoy these moments as a family and as a nation. Kipiga kura next year, piga kura kwa sababu it's your civic duty and not because you want to cause trouble. That is my word to you. Coach Collins.
While we are waiting to celebrate Christmas, also like to remind each one of us, COVID is still around, very effective and ready to pick and take as many people as possible. Let us take heed. Let us avoid unnecessary crowd. Let us put on our mask. Let us keep our hygiene as great as possible. While we get to Christmas, remember one thing. We are celebrating God gave us the best gift, and that is his son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Make sure that before the year is over, if you don't have a personal relationship with God, start it. And if you have it, make the bonding between you and God strong. For your family bond to be strong, it is determined by how strong the bond is between you and God. Take it as the word for this year. God bless you. I'm very happy for all of you who have been joining us through. Thank some new viewers today. Christopher, I saw him. Sword Graphic, Ponty with his family and other more people. God bless you. Let's connect more and more. If you want to see me, my number is +254 721 605 346. Or let's meet on Rebuilding Family Foundation channel as we continue to learn more and more. Back to you, Eli.
Thank you so much, Coach. And you have the details. You want to get in touch with Coach Collins Bolo. The details are running down on that screen. Get them and get in touch with him. And of course, we will be more than privileged to hear from you. Give us your feedback on how you find our programs and what more you like us to bring on or improve on. Because at the end of the day, you matter as a person and you matter as a community. Have a great weekend ahead. And we can't wait to see you in 2022. OMG. Oh my God. 2022 is on the way. But one more thing. we will be having the last and final show on Art in Heart next week on Friday, worship night with Reverend Kevin Tindi, Tony Asimwe, and myself as we close the curtains on 2021. See you, God bless you, and above all, remember the reason for the season. Tumekafunga basi, tuonane.